Setup's pretty good. We're going to just tweak it a little bit. One thing that could turn into a problem if we don't kind of keep an eye on it. But it's really close. Left side is really good. Do a really nice job of left side. Maybe a little bit of cleanup. Now I'm going to be a little more specific with you because you're at a higher level than a lot of students your age. Your upper body's excellent. Very little motion in your upper body. Your angles are good. I'll show you that here in a second. This angle right here is really good. .43. I try to see anywhere between 40 and 55 is what I look for. That's excellent. Okay, let's go through some of the concerns here. Here's where I talked to knees are in excellent position, staggered here, everything's at your target. From the back, you'll see the right shoulder's dropped, which is excellent. Elbow on the hip, excellent. Watch how that ball drops down a little bit before you push it. If I would, this is your starting point right here. Now, again, this is kind of high level. If you're a 155 average player, I probably wouldn't go there yet. But you're higher in. The reason you want to stabilize the push away is if I would take 10 shots and you had this movement before the horizontal movement, you would see different planes the ball would be set up. Different plane, different swing length, different release point. We want to really get you as repetitive as possible. We want to do everything the same. So watch how that ball's starting to drop down. Okay. What I would recommend, Hannah, is I would get more parallel because when you push it, you are completely parallel here. Okay. Your arm is parallel with the approach when you're going to push the ball. You start up, a little bit of angle, and then you drop it down. So let's just clean that up. Let's stabilize that. Because right now the push away is kind of want to get a horizontal push. So when I drop your second step when it's flat, right there's my position. If I would take another 15 shots, I can guarantee you this first shot would be here. We would see a variety of different shots. We'd see the next shot maybe here. We might even see one down here. Those are all different swing planes. Swing lengths, different release zones. So we want to clean that up. That you can clean up in 2 minutes out here. So that is a very, very minor concern. Okay, let's go back. This is where I want you to go in the future. I don't want you to touch this until your competition, high school's over. We've got to get this longer, okay? And I'll show you why from the back. Proper footwork is when you're in your setup position, we got to get in front to create space on the right side, okay? And if you have any questions on it, I can sure explain. There's only 3 ways of getting the ball around your hip. One way is when I get set up, I step in front, and I've created space on the right side, so when the ball goes straight, it falls right into the slot. 2, if I don't create the space and you're not, because you're not getting far enough over, your first step's too short, I've got to push it around my hip. Or 3, if I don't push it around my hip, I've got to wait, and then I got to step outside so my hip releases, so the space is created through my footwork on the second step. Let's see what happens with you. You do a little bit of those number 2 and 3. So you haven't created the space down here. And you're late.
Move you down a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. I'd like to see the ball hand somewhere in that position. Okay. Let me show you an example. Take a look at Kelly here real quick. Notice the setup being parallel with the approach. Watch her push it. Straight out. She never misses. There is no female in the world today that repeats like she does. She's not the best of all time yet, but she could get there. Carolyn's the best of all time. And I can show you her as well. Watch how it gets past your knee, okay? She's created the space on her right side and goes right past her knee. You guys are in the same position with your feet right now. Your ball's in front, okay? So you missed the opportunity. However, you never created the space, even if you had the timing right. So you're a little bit late in the front. Watch when Kelly gets to the apex. The apex is the highest point of your backswing. Every bowler I've studied since 1950 has had movement within that, I call that the timing window. That ball will start to transition downward somewhere in that zone. Higher RPM players, it's a little bit earlier back here. Lower RPM players, it's closer to the ankle. Okay? Watch yours. Still going up. Now, you are literally done sliding at that position. Let's get rid of some of this artwork here. You got nowhere to go. You are 1, 2, 3, 4 ball lengths from your ankle, from your release. That's called a L4. Just a number I give it. I don't like anything more than an L1.5, maybe an L2, but really no more than a ball and a half length. You got 4, so how does that ball get from here to the release point? What do you got to do? You got to use effort, don't you? Call that early acceleration. Watch the effort. Hence a lot of that going left ear, your ear, okay? That's the future. We got to get you time. We got to get you, first of all, creating space, and we got to get the ball to engage and go past your hip. It's going to create a couple different things. More repeatable timing, less effort, and your hand's going to really open up at the bottom. Hard to keep, and you got a good hand right now. Hard to keep it in a strong position when you got all that weight and you got to pull it back down to catch up. Okay, that's the big concern from the side. Late, and we got to create the space. And I'll show you the space from the back. Let's run through that one more time. And eventually, once we get you earlier, the pushway is going to have a little bit more horizontal because I like to have the ball swing the arm more instead of you trying to control the swing yourself. The left side is beautiful. You've got the perfect line to the left side. You do that as good as the guys. The best guy that does it is, I always use Chris because he is the best of all time at it. Watch how good Chris. Watch the thumb down. See how the body's opening up. Creates, just like you play softball or any other sports.
Yeah, you still.
Softball, same thing. Baseball, you got to create that body opens up and create that added energy at the apex. And then as you close it, it all transfers to your release. That's why your release is so good. That's why Chris is, it's a different game today, but one of, if not the best shot maker in the world. This is excellent. Center of gravity is good. Excellent knee bend. Good angles here. The big one there is space, but the timing is the one we got to get you earlier. Okay. That one there that's some elbow grease. You gotta put some time into that. I wish I could say in 2 minutes we're gonna have you But we're going to show you some drills today and get you to feel it. But before Thursday, we're not going to hear that before Thursday.
No, I think what you're seeing now is actually developed as a counter to something she was taught at Richter. They had her starting with the ball almost above her head.
Okay.
And I thought, just from my education and training, that her timing was way off. It was even worse than it is now.
Did they say why?
Unfortunately, I was not in attendance for the week-long camp that created that.
They just told me it was easier to push away when it was that high. And they said you start high and just push way up, and then I'm like,
I got it. Yeah. Everybody's got different philosophies.
Absolutely.
The cause of the effect of that is, how do you repeat the same plan? How do you repeat the same swing? And two, how do you take the effort out of that? We want to keep it as biomechanical yet as simple as we possibly can. You don't want to put added components in your game where you got chances for misdirection, your swing, chances for late timing. Really want to keep it simple but biomechanically sound. That's what we're going to try to do today. Because the key to every player, the one that repeats the most, usually is the one who walks around with the hardware. Belmonte gets a lot of flack because he's a two-hander. But if you look at his cats are as good as Walter Ray. Walter Ray's the most active player in the history of this game. Belmont's right on top of him. So now you got a guy that throws at 22 miles an hour with 700 RPMs with Walter Ray's accuracy. How do you beat that?
You
can't.
very often.
For some reason, I put you in Hannah Shore.
no, there's a Hannah Shore too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know Hannah too?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, and we always end up being at the same tournaments.
But I got to throw you into your name. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's slow this down. We'll take a look at swing direction, foot direction. Your release is really, really good. Okay, as we mentioned, the release here is your strongest asset. And honestly, the release is the hardest anchor to teach of anything physical that we teach. You can never take a low RPM player and take them to a high RPM. You can't. You got to develop that when you're young. Now you can tweak it and get your hand in a better position, get your hand more underneath it. You're fortunate. This isn't going to be messed with. You've got really the most important component today. My young one, my boy, all he's doing right now at 10 and 11 is run and make a change direction. I don't care how you do it, because I can teach you the components, the physical anchors at any age. You can't teach that. You got to acquire that to the natural. Let's take a look here. First thing, you notice the ball is outside the slot. Okay. I like the chin, and I like the shoulder. You can see that ball is outside the slot. So when you see the ball outside the slot, most of the time you see a right push-away direction. That's a little bit outside the shoulders, you can tell. So you get a little bit of right direction. And the other thing we talked about, because you were late with your timing, you never created the space. It's a tightrope space. Let me show you a good example. Who could I use? Use Carolyn. Use who's your favorite player?
Norm.
No, I don't think I have a good back shot of Norm.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I use Billy. He was just on the show last week. Or just missed the show. Billy O'Neill. Pretty good young player. Watch his footwork. This is Barnes-like. It's Duke-like. It's Voss-like. It's Machuga-like. See the tight rope here? Watch the space he creates right into the swing slot here. Watch the ball. Watch your ball. It's going to go right and then left behind your back a little bit, and then you realign it. You get it right back to optimal position. We can clean all that stuff before that up. Okay? Watch Billy's second step. He's a 5-stepper, but this would be a second step and a 4-step approach. So he's got a tightrope, and he's got a side-by-side. It's right past his hip. Let's take a look at you again. Because you never created enough space, your step wasn't long enough. The ball has to get past your hip. So this is where, watch how the hip releases it. See how it gets past your hip? Those are the 2 steps we're going to clean up. We're going to work hard on that today. Then he gets right behind your head. That is golden right there. Pretty much like Billy does it. Hand is right in the center, a little above the equator. The reason it's above the equator is because you got a little bit of acceleration coming down because you're late. And because you're short here, that's the effect that causes late timing. You got to pull it down, you're going to get short here. You let it come down because you're in proper time. Watch Billy. Right over his head. Okay? Barnes does it even better. There's the tightrope. Watch the side-by-side. Falls right into the swing slot. Right behind his head. That's the big one. Timing is affecting your footwork. Push over the step left. Let's get you back here so you can see it. We're going to modify the setup a little bit. Just lengthen that step. Clean that up. We want that to be a side-by-side. That's the best female hand position I've seen in a while. That's really good. But you can see you've got some moving factors prior to that point of your release. So. Yeah. First thing we worked on was your setup position. This is parallel. This is where you were before. Watch the movement, what you used to have. You see how the ball's going from up to down before you push it. That's pretty stable. Now you got movement. That's excellent. And all that is really discipline. Getting that elbow to touch that hip and knowing the first movement is this way. It's not this way. Okay? That's excellent. Second thing we did was your slide. Let's take a look at your old. Comes the heel. You are done there. That's really late. Let's take a look at it. With some work, what's going to look like. See where you're done sliding. You're done sliding right there. You are neutral right now. Just by fixing your slide, we got you better time.
That's a big wow.
And again, you got no effort. So now what you got to do is your mind's still thinking you're late. Your mind's saying, Hannah, you're late. You still got to help me out. So instead of trying to help the swing out, you got to go back to one-step drills, and you got to let it just basically go from your apex to the release without effort. The proper one-step drill, the ball speed should be about 50 or 60% of normal. That means you can't pull on it. So let's go to the backside. This is your old footwork because you're real late. First of all, look at your setup position. This ball is much better. It's inside the slot. This ball's outside the slot. You see there's no ball hanging outside this arm. There's ball hanging out here. So that's really good. Let's take a look at your timing or your footwork. That's your old footwork. Let's take a look at tightrope here. Longer first step. That's pretty close. Here comes the step left because you're trying to create the space. That's side by side. That's the future. That's not this week. Okay. You can just see how much ball better the ball's in your slot. Really good. Let's go through some drills. Setup drill. Make sure the ball's between the shoulder and the chin. Okay. Side. Just get it more parallel again. Use that nice mirror. Sideways to a mirror, front of a mirror. Then you have your push away drill. Again, we want all the movement to go horizontal. When you're done with your second step, you should see the ball at your side. It's a nice step in front. So when you're done with your competition, so we start going into these drills. And after you get done with your 1 and 2 step drill, you can do that in the mirror as well. Go to your mock drill as well. Again, just to try to create that blueprint of what you need to do with your ball. Work on your slide, you can work on your footwork, put that piece of tape in front of your shoe. Some really good drills I like. Kind of a free swing drill before you bowl. This just kind of reinforces the ball is swinging the arm instead of you trying to swing the ball. Okay. Again, creates that nice blueprint for the heaviness of your swing, a free swing, and then go make a shot. What else we got? This would be a one step, a little bit different than Richter's. It's not a swinging one step. That'll work for your slide, work with your hand, as you know one step's all about. Then we had the walking drill. You can do the walking drill. You can work on your footwork, or you can work on your slide. Ball right in your midsection. This is a 5-step thing. The reason I have you put a ball in your midsection is so the head knows there's something heavy attached. Just helps you out. What else we got? I think that is it. I think that's it.